Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Generation Y from 4:30 to 5:30 every Sunday from the Bradford studio on IQRA TV. I'd like to introduce you to my guests, Daud.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam. And I've got Talha and Bilal on my right.
Assalamu
Assalam. Today's topic is going to be about the Ramadan, which has unfortunately departed. It's gone really quick. Hopefully we've got our blessings from the month. I'd like to start off with on a question open to you all. Well, this point is scientists have discovered that fasting helps your immune system, it helps rebuild it by not eating or drinking for a certain amount of period. Isn't it a shocking thing that Muslims have been fasting for so many years, and just recently scientists have discovered that fasting is it's a health benefit?
No, yeah, it's something that's quite amazing. There is nothing in Islam that tells you to do bad things. There's always a reason behind everything in Islam, and it's only recently that scientists and researchers have found this out, like say in the last couple of years or whatever. But the fact that Muslims have been basically fasting for the last 600-700 years, it's quite amazing, because we've reaped all them benefits for the last 600 years. And when other ethnicities say to us, oh, why do you fast? You can't eat, you can't drink, what do you get out of it? And I don't think what they don't realise is that, if I'm quite honest, I don't think a lot of Muslims realise that fasting is actually really beneficial to us, because it improves the way our mind works. It actually trains us to give us self-discipline.
Talha and Bilal, as well as health benefits, it provides us some mental benefits, and what I mean by that is like self-reflection. Would you like to elaborate on what you feel about self-reflection whilst you're fasting?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the main benefits, I would say, of fasting Ramadan is that it is an increased compassion for the necessities of life, especially looking at the poor people. You see a lot of TV channels, IQRA TV, you'll see them every day doing appeals for the poor people out there, and I think that's one of the main benefits of Ramadan, that you can give money to the poor and you can help the poor out.
Yeah, definitely.
Because not everyone living the life we're living now.
It's like now you're more grateful about, like, now people think that people see food and think, oh, it's normal. When they see someone, like, say they see someone and they think, oh, I don't want it, and they just throw it in the bin, they won't realise how much happiness that can bring to someone who don't get fed, no matter whether it's got a bit of dirt on it, it's a bit cold or something like that. Nowadays, kids, teenagers, even sometimes you see adults where the food's a bit cold, they think, oh, you don't want to throw it away, when you've got things like microwaves and you can warm it up.
Yeah, we appreciate the togetherness of family or friends. Can go out for iftar, you can spend more time with family, eating with family every evening. It's like it makes a relationship between your family, between your friends stronger, that bond.
Yeah. You mentioned about family. What benefits, Bilal, do you think that, like Talha's just mentioned about, it makes family go closer? What do you think, like, fasting, what are the effects, do you think, on fasting, like, on you and on your family members or friends, for example?
I think the great thing about fasting is that you're all going to wake up together at Sehri time, and then you're going to eat together, and at Iftari time, like Talha said, you're all going to go out or eat at home, and you eat together. Like, not all families, some families do, but not all families come together, eat together, and just like have a nice chit chat, what's happened, and just bond together. So I think it's a really great opportunity to create a stronger bond in the family, and also just make you realise how fortunate you really are having food on your table.
I think it's also that yearly lesson as well of it's not only about eating, it's about education as well, about work, going to work. It helps you through your life. You can take the month out to reflect, not only as you as a Muslim, but other things, going to school, reflecting on what you're going to do next year, reflecting on work, how you're working. So yeah, it literally reflects everything in your life.
It's like now our lives are revolved around basically eating, because when you don't eat, you realise how much time you've got on your hands. You've got a lot of time, and you just begin to realise, like, all this time I can be doing things like going to the mosque, reading some Quran, stuff like that. It just shows how much time we've got left. Following from that, like now some of us will have colleagues or even co-workers or even friends that are not Muslim. Have you had any experience where non-Muslims helped you or done something or some form of act whilst you've been fasting to help you or to comfort you in any form?
Yeah, I think you'll see that mostly in like a work environment, in a school environment, where you see teachers and other non-Muslim students to help you by understanding the significance of Ramadan you know, by showing that willingness and that respect towards it, that you're fasting, and that it's a special month in all Muslims' life. And also at the end of Ramadan, Eid as well, you know, schools, they give, I think sometimes some schools give 2 days, some give a day, and that also shows respect, you know.
It cultures like this type of love, like, you know, in Ramadan, no matter who it is, whether it's between Muslims or whether it's between different ethnicities, you know, they all kind of realize that, you know, they're going through a hard time. Well, not a hard time, but they're going through, you know, a spiritual right, and, you know, you should respect that, and they do, and the things that they do to go out of their way, like they'll, like sometimes they'll come sit down next year, even when you're fasting, and they'll have a sandwich or something, but they'll say, is it okay for me to sit down? Is it okay for me to eat here? If it's not, I can go away. And, you know, they do take that into consideration. They do appreciate what we're going through, and like maybe not everyone's like that, but quite a lot of, you know, ethnicities are quite, you know, respectful, and they do appreciate, you know, what we're going through at that time.
And also in hospitals as well, you know, they give nurses, doctors, they give patients the, you know, the opportunity to decide whether they want treatment for anything, if it's not life-threatening. So, you know, that's another way.
It's like now there's an atmosphere in the school, like now when I'm in school, I feel like there's an atmosphere, like even with the Muslims and the non-Muslims, like it's like the non-Muslims, majority of them, you see that they understand that we're fasting, and that they see that it is a hard thing, and even some of us, they'll be like, well done, they'll give you a bit of like a pat on the back, basically, that, you know what, you're doing something, and you're doing something really well, and it's really hard, and even they recognise the fact that fasting is a hard thing. It's like a mission, you're going on a mission, and that it's like, it's a goal you're going to achieve. So I think it's a good thing the way people come about it. Like now Dar mentioned, where they'll ask, is it alright if I have a sandwich here? Sometimes you'll think, you know what, I won't eat. Sometimes I've got a friend who won't even eat lunch, and he'll say, I'll fast. When I go home, I'll eat. I won't eat in front of anyone else because he's surrounded by a couple of Muslims, and he don't want it where, because of him, they feel a bit hungry. Although that isn't the case, we shouldn't stop them from eating. The whole point of fasting is for ourselves, not for other people, to be wary of what they're doing. So it's really nice the fact that like the atmosphere, like in schools, where teachers even like they'll be like, they'll ask the kids, are you okay, do you need a bit of a breather? Like lessons aren't as intense, for example.
Yeah,
they
like
also have like,
they take like a little break in between lessons sometimes. You know, they kind of appreciate that.
All your friends, right, they also like motivate you, teachers and even the non-Muslims. Like if you like feel like you don't want to fast, they'll be like, oh, there's only a couple of hours left, or look, think about the rewards you're gonna get and stuff like that. So it really does help you like want to fast.
And you know, like a lot of people say that Ramadan's like this. It's like a boot camp, and it basically prepares you for the rest of the year. You know, no matter what time of the year, you know, Ramadan is, it kind of just prepares you for, you know, after, like it's a time to basically lose your bad habits, or like, you know, lose, you know, the bad influences in your life. And that, you know, it's like, you know, when people go to boot camp, you know, they lose all their bad habits, you know, whatever they're doing, they stop it and they get on with it, they become stronger at the end of it. And I'm sure that you won't find even one person that will not say that, you know, they've become stronger, because they've you know, gained that tolerance, they've gained patience from it, and, you know, at the end of it, they become a better person. And at the end of the day, that's all you can ask of anyone, because that's all we strive to be. We strive to be, you know, better people than we were the day before or the year before. You know, we just want to become better people. And
it's like in Ramadan, sorry. It's like in Ramadan, like now, you know, your rewards are multiplied, your sins are forgiven. Allah's mercy is there for you. It's always there, and in Ramadan especially there. And people realize that in Ramadan there's loads of benefits to it, and they see it as a time for change. Like now, you'll see people stop smoking. Some people that are addicted to certain drugs, they'll stop doing them, or maybe they'll minimise them to a level where there's where they don't have as much. And now you'll see some people who are really smoke a lot, and they just stopped. It's like
what's
like non-Muslims think of it as really weird, like how they just stopped. And it's just that it shows you that what they have inside their heart, what they have for their Lord, what they have for Allah, that it is something that's really powerful and strong, to have such a strong belief. It's like now if they'll come across and ask, you've never seen Allah, how do you know? So it's like a big thing, the fact that they've given up something that they really struggle to give up for the sake of someone they've never seen. It just shows how much power, how power and belief a person has. And that leads me to the point that in Ramadan we have temptations, we have this sin out there, and we prevent prevent from sinning, knowing that certain things will break our fast. Do any of you want to like elaborate on the fact that how fasting helps you prevail from committing any sin?
So you know, when you fast, you normally also go to Tarawih, and it's like the month where you try and learn more about the Quran and connect more. So obviously, and also Ramadan was the month where the Quran was revealed. So obviously, when you go and you're learning about the Quran, you're understanding it, then you're actually getting the message, you're getting it translated, and you're understanding about the sins and what you can't do and what you can do.
Yeah.
And that's what helps like motivate you to try and stay off the wrong path and fast. And if you're fasting, then you're going to be like, oh, I'll read namaz as well, I'll do this as well, I'll do this as well. So it helps like include a lot of things.
Yeah, people really look into their deen, they really look into their religion in this period of time, because they feel a lot closer to their religion. And you know, a lot of people, you know, you're forgiven for all your sins, you know, as long as you know, do certain things in Ramadan, you know, like Sam said, you know how you have a lot of time on your hands when you realize that you're not eating. Yeah, they realize that, you know, I should go pray, I should go, you know, learn more about my religion, and they'll go translate, you know, the Quran, and they'll find certain translations for certain things, and you know, it'll just increase their knowledge. And when they come out of Ramadan, they become a better person by the end of it. And you know, a lot of them, it's a time to lose your bad habits and gain good habits. And people lose their bad habits and start, you know, reading namaz and start, you know, like you said, researching into their religion, and you know, they become a lot more knowledgeable. And that's where, you know, a lot of people have lost that knowledge. And you know, that's why sometimes you can't have a conversation with another, you know, Muslim, because sometimes they're not knowledgeable enough about the subject that you're talking about, and you feel like there's no point in me talking to this person, because it's like talking to a brick wall. But in Ramadan, them barriers are broken. You know, you feel like you just feel that connection with someone, because you know that they've actually made the effort to go and, you know, learn about it. And you know, you feel like this sense of purity. And
it's a month to like develop your character as well, you know, like morally and spiritually as well, you know, developing your character, you know, making yourself a better person, you know, forgiving people from the past, you know, whatever people have done to you, just forgive them. So obviously that month really shows that, you know, you become a better person yourself, but not religiously, you know, everything in the day-to-day life, forgiving people for what done before, you know, worshipping God more, you know, spiritual training, self-examination, it all comes into it.
Yeah. It's like now some people unfortunately haven't been alive to see this year's the Ramadan this year. And if you think about it, Allah's chosen whoever's alive and went through Ramadan, chose them to be part of a blessed month and to take benefit of a blessed month. So it just shows that we should be grateful for the fact that Allah's chosen us individuals to be able in this month. Because in the Sahaba's time, they used to cry when Ramadan when you used to go. Basically nowadays you see where people are counting the days down. Yes, like, well, last day left, come on lads,
can't wait for it.
But yeah, it's understandable, like Eid's the next day and you know how you can eat, but like the Sahabas used to cry that Ramadan's going, and it just shows how like important Ramadan is and how important it should be seen, to be honest. And the fact that you should be grateful that Allah's, like I said, chosen for you to be able to see this month through, and you should see it as a turning point in your life.
I mean, like that Osam said, it's like a turning point. It's not just, oh, Ramadan's here, now I'm going to read namaz, I'm going to fast. It's like, Ramadan's here, okay, let's see what I can do to try and change myself. So you fast, you try to read namaz, and you try to carry that on for the rest of the year and for the rest of your life. And that's what Ramadan's for. It's not just for 1 month you do everything. It's like a lifetime thing now.
It's like now on the Day of Judgment, you want that extra reward. You want to get into Jannah. You want to get into the highest level of Jannah, Jannah for those. And it's like, what's stopping you? What is preventing you? There's nothing between you and Allah. And then you need to realize that that's your turning point in life. And that's the time when you know what, you go bang and you're going to change your life.
Yeah,
it's like now when you're in your grave, you don't want to be in that punishment. You don't want to have the punishment of the grave. It's so severe. It's when you hear about it, it's terrifying. So why don't you take the opportunity to pray to Allah, make dua to Him? Even in the last third of the night, when He comes down, He asks, who's asking, who wants my forgiveness? Pray that Allah don't punish you, the punishment of the grave, to like not give you it. Stuff like that. Ask for things. Allah says, ask me for things and I'll give you it. So if someone's asking you, what do you want, and you're like nothing, when you really want something, ask for it. What's stopping you? At the end of the day, He's your Lord and He will provide.
it's like the month of Ramadan. It said that, you know, it is the time to go see the sick and the needy, and you know, it's there for you to go and, you know, see them and, you know, share your wealth and, you know, make it a better time for them as well. It's not only for yourself, it's not only to make yourself a better person, it's to help others in need. And that's why, you know, a lot of people donate in Ramadan, so that not only will them blessings go to, you know, that person, it'll go to, you know, whoever else has donated, you know what I mean? And it'll help them through whatever hardship they're going through. And, you know, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, even despite him being a simple and going through a humble life, you know, he was one of the first to always say yes to anyone who needed help, and he would never ever deny anyone help, no matter whether they were believer or non-believer. He would never ever deny them of any help, and that's because, you know, he was such a humble man, and he would never ever, you know, disrespect someone in that way. And, you know, there are nothing but praises to be said about him.
It's like now Ramadan. What comes at the end of Ramadan is Eid, and every single person from small to big, they're really excited about Eid. They think, oh yeah, Eid's coming, we're all going to get together as a family, we can all eat, we're all going to have a laugh, we're going to go out, we're going to go get these milkshakes, go get these ice cream, you can have a laugh, and you spend all day with your family, with all your loved ones, and it's a time, at the end of the day, it's like Ramadan, you think, you know what, I've done all my hard work, Eid's my time to celebrate. It's like now you go for you revise, you do your exam, your results day is going to be obviously your Eid, it's like that. So it's like now Eid's your results day, although you don't find out your final result, but it's a time to celebrate that the struggle you've been through and how much effort you've put in
is worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it, and it feels good at the end, thinking, you know what, I fasted those 29/30 days, and in the end, inshallah, when I die, I'll have a huge amount of reward and sin removed from me due to that blessed month that people don't get, people that have passed away and unfortunately not being able to be with us during this Ramadan.
Yeah, of course, like the main purpose of Ramadan is to like discipline yourself and moral behaviour and stuff like that, but it's really important to also at the end of Ramadan on Eid to come together with your family, have a nice meal, all talk about how Ramadan went, be like really happy about it, who donated, who did what, how much fast did you keep all of them, did you start reading more salahs, and just talk about all the things that you've done in Ramadan to help make your deen stronger and create a better connection with you.
It's celebrating that, you know, building of your character in the last month, you know, everything you've done in the last month. It's the day of reflecting and, you know, celebrating that, yeah, I've worked hard this month, I've changed.
Yeah. It's like now, you know, like now, for example, in Ramadan, you know not to do certain things, but outside Ramadan, you do them. So it's like a point where you think, you know what, if I do this thing, if I'm used to doing this one thing in Ramadan, you know what, I can't do it, I have to forbid myself from doing it. And you know what, by doing it for 30 days, you'll automatically stop. Some people say that after a week of not doing something, you lose the habit. At the end of the day, the sins that we do on a constant level, we choose to do. And the fact that the major shaitans are locked up on Ramadan, you look at it in the point that you're so easy to get. Say you commit a sin in Ramadan, you're so easy to get, and how can you lose to someone like shaitan when it's someone like, how can we lose to someone like that? It's like now losing a battle against someone or losing a game against someone, you think, how can I lose against someone like him? So how should we lose a battle against shaitan and be like in the month that we're it's the month that we're at our best of strengths? Why should we lose to someone like him and embarrass ourselves? At the end of the day, who are we going to embarrass in? At the end of the day, Allah's not going to be like, oh, it's not going to be nothing of him. He's given us this month to prosper, to change. And the fact that in this month, on the last 10 days, it was Laylatul Qadr, when the day the Quran came down to the Prophet ﷺ, and it's such a big night. The fact that you get so much reward, your sins are forgiven, and people need to understand the importance of it. And I think people in Ramadan look forward to one thing, and that is that special night, due to all the blessing and reward and all the virtues and even the history that's gone in. Like the Quran was revealed on that day, and how much on a day-to-day life is our lives revolved around the Quran, in the sense that our religion is made up so much from what the Quran says, and the fact that it's Allah's words.
And you know, that night is obviously of forgiveness, but you shouldn't only be asking for forgiveness on that night. It should have been throughout Ramadan, because Ramadan is the entire 29/30 days, like you said. That entire month is just there for forgiveness. You're there to ask for forgiveness. You're there to, you know, help others, and you're there to, you know, in the end, you're there to help yourself, not in this life, but in the next. And you know, you should always be thinking about that, because you know, what you do on this world is not to help yourself on this world, it's to help yourself in the next. Because this is, they say that that your life is like, it goes in the blink of an eye, to be honest. You know, but you know, in the hereafter, you'll be there for, say, you know, a couple days, but it'll feel like years, and that's because of the fact that, you know, it's so blessed and it's so pure to be there.
Guys, we're gonna go for a short break. We'll be back after the break shortly. Stay tuned in, don't go anywhere, and we'll be back. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.